Hey, good morning, all you fine peeps. Yes, it is 5:39 a.m. and I'm coming to you from Newport Richey, Florida on a Saturday. 5:39 a.m. I woke up around 4:30, tried to go back to sleep. It wasn't happening, and there's a reason why. Something has happened recently that has me more excited than I've been in a very long time. And for those of you who know me, become quite the optimist, eternal optimist on things. And I've been searching for different techniques, strategies, things to help marketing, not just my business, but others' businesses as well, because that's what drives me. I like to help people. And I've been, this is how the process works. As an entrepreneur, you are always trying different things and attempting to find out if it's going to be a fit for your business, if it's going to work. You want to test things. I've learned this over the years. You want to test them for yourself, on yourself, ensure that they work before you go promoting them to the world. So I've done that a little prematurely several times in the past. And yeah, then you learn that your reputation does matter. So yeah, just like the title of this live says, off the cuff, I don't have anything prepared. Just thoughts that were coming to my mind that are literally keeping me up and with excitement. Not anything bad. It's absolutely incredibly good. And it's all in the arena of marketing and lead generation. And this has been the age old issue when it comes to building businesses. And that is, I've been to so many seminars over the years. I remember going to them, gosh, 10, 12, 14, 15 years ago. And I remember people on stage telling you how you should do split testing, which means have two different versions of, say, a landing page, a website, and then do the analytics. And I laugh because I'll tell you why in a minute. Because do the analytics. Maybe have three different variations, and do the analytics of when people go to your site, which one is converting the best, which one is getting more engagement. So to fine tune it. Also with emails, all kinds of things that you can use to test. And the reason I chuckled because I was sitting in that audience and wanting to raise my hand so bad. I was very shy just 20, 30 years ago, or this is actually 15 years ago. I still was very shy, never stuck my neck out. Now I'm the opposite. And interesting was that the thing that I found funny was they're telling us to split test all this stuff due to the traffic coming in on your website. And I wanted to raise my hand and say, well, excuse me, how do you get the traffic to your website to begin with? All of these tips and strategies were fantastic and they were things that worked, but most of the people in the audience didn't have the ability or the know-how to bring the eyeballs to their websites. And so, it's been over the years now, having worked with so many other business owners and entrepreneurs, that's been the common denominator. How do you get eyeballs to your business, wherever that happens to be, brick and mortar or on websites, which is predominantly how it's being done now. And so I've been on this search forever, always looking for how do you do this? I've gone to that. In fact, the very past expert that was on that stage 14, 15 years ago, we became friends. He's an internet marketing multimillionaire. And somewhat recently, less than a year ago, I posed the question. I said, what is the number one for you? What is your number one source for leads, i.e. traffic? And I was a little shocked with his answer, because this individual usually did things organically. And what he told me was paid ads. I'm like, oh my gosh, I was disappointed. Not in him. I was disappointed in the answer, because if any of you have ever gone down the path of creating an ad campaign, that is something you pay for. Now we're talking, in this particular case, specifically, it was YouTube ads, which I thought, wow, that was an eyebrow raiser, because not a lot of people had talked about YouTube ads up to that point. It was primarily Facebook ads, number one, always number one. And then they would say maybe Google ads. as the secondary, but it was rarely, if ever, YouTube ads. And he went on to explain the reasons why, and they all made sense. And he had done this from experience. He had tested both and had much better results, and his ROI was much greater with YouTube ads. But the thing with me was, and it is with many starting entrepreneurs, but with me, it was just like, I want to be cognizant of the money I'm spending. I've been down this path before. It wasn't that the money wasn't there at this point, but what about all those that don't have the wherewithal to have this nice, sizable marketing budget? Because these days, to do an ad campaign, whew, it can cost a pretty penny if you want it to get you the results you're looking for. And I'm gonna read a couple stories here real quick that I had written just the other day to kind of illustrate that. But the thing is, I had hired in the past, three different Facebook ad agencies. If you have ever gone to Facebook ads and tried to figure it out on your own, even with video after video after video of YouTube to show you how to do it, the thing is you'll find, if you go down this path, is Facebook changes the look and feel and flow of things on a regular basis, and it's confusing as heck. And I'm a software engineer by trade. I'm a techie. Stuff like that normally comes pretty easy to me. Facebook ads, for some reason, has me. And so I've done them on my own. I've just thrown money out into the wind, and it didn't work because I didn't know what I was doing. And so I finally decided I'm going to get help, and I'm going to pay. And I paid quite handsomely for a couple of them. And here, let me read this story first because it kind of reflects my experience with these Facebook ads. And so this quick story I entitled The Waiting Game because it's interesting how it works with Facebook ads. So here it goes. You ready? I'm just going to read this to you. It's early, and this is the way I'm waking up this morning. I'm on fire. I'm excited. Here we go. Welcome to The Waiting Game, the costly, time-consuming world of Facebook ads. Imagine investing thousands of dollars into an ad agency only to be told to wait another 30 days for results. That's a month of anticipation with your hard-earned money on the line and not a single lead in sight. But the investment doesn't stop at your wallet. Prepare to dive deep into creating graphics, securing professional photos, and crafting videos, tasks that demand your time, energy, and resources. All this before even catching a glimpse of potential returns. This is so, so true. And let's not forget the hidden complexities, the audience warm up period, as it's called. There is a 30-day labyrinth where your ads slowly gain traction, and it's just the beginning. Navigating the ever-changing landscape of Facebook algorithms, rules, and audience targeting options can feel like a full-time job. Man, this is right on the spot. The reality, this initial hefty investment reaps no immediate rewards. You're left in the dark, hoping for leads that may or may not materialize while your budget dwindles. It's a high stakes game of patience and uncertainty. That's the big word right there. One where your business's growth and outreach are delayed, your efforts spread thin across multiple demanding tasks, and your results, they're a distant possibility. But here's the twist. Just as your ads begin to gain traction, a new wave of expenses rolls in. On top of the ongoing maintenance fees that you're paying the ad agency, now comes the real kicker. The ad spend. Yes, whether it's cost per click or cost per opt-in lead, these numbers start to add up quickly, often surpassing your initial budget. Yes, I know you can set your budget in Facebook, but I think you get it. This isn't just a one-time payment. It's a continuous outflow that grows as your campaign progresses. Your investment doesn't just stop at paying experts to manage your ads. You're also footing the bill for every click, every lead, every interaction your ad garners. This means even when your ads are finally up and running, your wallet continues to feel the punch or the pinch. Every step forward in your campaign can mean more expenditure with no guaranteed proportionate return on investment. Whew, that's a mouthful. The reality, Facebook ads can become a financial whirlpool, pulling in more of your budget than anticipated with complex layers of costs that keep adding up. It's a balancing act of managing agency fees, ad spends, and the hidden cost of your own time and resources. So ask yourself, is this complexity and uncertainty really worth it? Are there more predictable, cost-effective ways to grow your business and generate leads? End of story. And yeah, I know there are going to be a lot of people that have opinions that'll do some pushback that will say, well, you can get an ad agency that is results that are results that work on results. You only pay them when you get results, and I know that that's true as well. But that's the thing, though. It still will take 30 days for the audience warm up in most cases. I'm not a Facebook ad expert, but I have talked to those who do this as part of their agency model, and I've also experienced it directly as a client of 3 in the past. And so there are other ways to get leads as well. And I'm not saying Facebook ads are horrible. They have worked incredibly well for a large amount of people. Obviously, they're everywhere. If they didn't work, you wouldn't see them. People would stop and word would spread. So it's an art, and it takes time, and it takes experience, it takes knowledge, it takes expertise, and it takes a lot of patience, and it takes knowing that when you put in your money, you're gonna wait a while before you see any traction, typically on a typical basis. And so there are other ways in which to get eyeballs to your page. So with a Facebook ad, usually it's something where they will click a link and it will take them to a web page of yours, of your design or your ad agency design. And that way they will be presented with your offer. And so again, it's about getting eyeballs to your website, just like I opened with the whole thing about split testing and all that. And so there are other ways, and there are other great ways. I mean, Facebook ads are a great way if you can get through everything I just went through in that story. And if you have a budget, it really is not as big a deal. If you have a constant stream of substantial income coming in from your business, and that is part of your marketing budget, then it's really not a big issue. You know, you can wait the 30 days. You know, all those factors are there. But I'm talking about the smaller business person and entrepreneur that I typically deal with. This is a common situation. And so this is truly off the cuff. Hey, glad you're coming on to visit. If you have questions, you want to say hi, put them in the chat. Just rambling off the cuff early in the morning at 5:52 a.m. here in Newport Richey, Florida, talking about the importance of leads and marketing for your business and the age-old issue of how do you get them? How do you get people to see your website on a consistent, regular, and not a budget crunching manner? And so that story about Facebook was one of 2 stories I would like to read to you here. The second one is a little bit shorter, and it concerns a different area that is also a very valid approach at getting eyeballs to your website, and that is this magical, mystical world known as SEO, search engine optimization. I remember way back, and I'm going back to that time where I was talking about that seminar time when the person on stage was talking about split testing. Around that same time, search engine optimization was in its heyday. It was people were finding all these cool tricks to get around to get around having all this massive amount of ad copy appear on their page in order for the search engines to ingest the information and utilizing that information, put them at the top of the search list because they put all the right words in it. And one such trick, just as an example, let's say you have a website, you have a page, it's predominantly white background. Well, one trick back in the day was to put in hundreds, if not thousands, of keywords in that page, but all in the same exact color font as the background. So you couldn't even see them with your eye, but the search engines could see them because it's just code to them. It's ASCII characters. And so that used to work phenomenally. Well, guess what? They caught on. They being like the Google search engines and Yahoo back in the day. They caught on and said, "Oh no, 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 no! You're not going to get any SEO juice." That's my term. Uh, when you try to play these little tricks on us, and so that was one tiny example of an algorithm adjustment that was made back in the day. So that was no longer a viable way to get your site ranked. And that is what has happened with SEO over the years. It is a nonstop, ever changing landscape. All the time, the algorithms are being updated and changed. So if you went down the path of becoming someone who provides SEO services, you must be on top of it all the time. There's no resting, and it's a full-time job, not just for one, but for an entire team. And the interesting thing is I know at least one individual personally who became quite successful at doing this, and he did this for clients of theirs that they would perform SEO modifications to individuals' websites to get them ranked higher on Google. So when someone searched for a particular product or service and it was in line with what they did, then theirs would show up high on the Google rankings. And he made untold amount of money over several decades of doing this, and to this day is still one of the best leading SEO um, individuals probably on the planet. And interesting thing is, just recently he came out and said he's leaving SEO. He's not quitting work. He's not quitting business. After decades of massive success, he says, "I'm going to quit." And he said, "Well, is SEO bad?" He said, "No." He's literally walking us through why he's doing it. He said, "No, SEO, does it not work anymore?" "Oh yeah, it works." He just said, "It's just a pain." And he went on to say pain in the and he said, "I found something better that works better." And so I'm listening because this is the one of the biggest experts in the field. And what he proceeded to tell us all, he had a webinar, and it ended up being a 2-hour webinar, and I was unable to make it live, but I found the recording and I watched the entire thing. I was leaning in the whole time. When someone like that talks, you listen. And now the system he was talking about, he figured it out. He hired people to build it, and then he offered it for those of us that wish to go down this path and utilize it. And I'm one of those. I've got what's called an agency license, and if you're any of you are interested in this, just DM me. I'm not This is not a sales pitch. This is just, I'm telling you that there's something exciting that just came out that all of you, including yours truly, can take advantage of and really potentially crush it in business. And I say potentially, I am in the process of finishing out the initial build out. Even though it's already put together, you have to do a lot of configuration and building of things on the back end. And I'll go into that a little bit, time permitting. So we have another story that I would like to read to you that goes into the realm of uncertainty as it applies to search engine optimization. The number two, one of the biggest ways that people get traffic and eyeballs to their properties online, their websites. And so I titled this one A Journey of Uncertainty. Here we go. Venturing into Good morning, Fraser Ramsey. How are you doing? Thanks for coming on. So here we go. Venturing into the world of SEO. Prepare for a journey filled with uncertainty, waiting, and continuous financial outlay, all for a destination that's never quite guaranteed. The process begins with hiring an SEO expert, a significant investment in itself. They delve into the depths of keyword research, tweaking and tuning your website for optimal performance. Yet, once these adjustments have been made, the real game of patience begins. You wait, hoping to see your website ascend the ranks of Google search results, a climb that's slow and unpredictable. But the path to SEO success is rarely a straight line. As your site's progress slows or falters, Your SEO expert must then re-enter the fray, deciphering the reasons behind the stagnation. And this means more analysis, more adjustments, and more importantly, more time. Time during which your website might not be performing as expected and your investment seems to hang in the balance. And let's not overlook the cost. While you're waiting for results, you're continually spending money on the expertise that you've hired. Every adjustment, every analysis, every strategy revision adds, or every strategy revision adds to your bill. It depends on, of course, the agreement you have with the expert. It could be a one-time payment, but I think you're getting the idea with all this. This is a generality. The financial bleeding continues with no immediate sales or visible ROI, return on investment, to justify it. The reality of SEO is that it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. Results don't just take time, they demand ongoing investment with no clear end in sight. The fluctuating nature of search engine algorithms adds to the unpredictability, requiring constant vigilance and adaptation. So I say, ask yourself, is the prolonged waiting, the constant uncertainty, and ongoing financial commitment the best strategy for your business growth? Are there more immediate, tangible ways to achieve your sales and marketing goals? With that, I would like to say today, I believe there are. I believe there is at least one. Again, it's something I am in the throes of testing starting as early as tomorrow. I've been configuring something quite significantly. It's going to be a disruptor in the marketing arena, and I'm really excited about it. And that's why I'm up so early. I cannot sleep as much as I used to. I just woke up in the middle of the night and I couldn't go back to sleep because the brain went back on and started thinking about this. So I've been up, as I said, since about 4:30 this morning here in Newport Richey, Florida, on the East Coast. And that's the thing with SEO. Here's another great example. I'm really getting interested in going deeper into wholesaling on the real estate front. So it's basically, you've seen those signs. We pay cash for your homes. I'm into that now, and in my research of different ways of going about that, about finding people who are very motivated to sell their property, there are many different techniques and tactics to do that. Most of the mainstream successful wholesalers that teach about it give you examples like literally get in your car and drive around your local neighborhood and look for distressed homes. Those that have they're disheveled, they have overgrowth of grass and plants, and they look uninhabited, or they're just not kept up very well. And then you go and find out who that owner is and say, hey, are you open to selling your home? I'll pay you cash. And then you when you offer them that, you're going to offer them a greatly reduced price of what, if they go to Zillow to see what the market price for their home is, they're not going to get that from you. So they have to be very motivated. And there's lots of reasons behind this. And it works really well for all those that have done this and done it successfully. That's one method. Drive around, literally. Another method is while you're driving around, have a magnet on your door or doors that says, I buy homes for cash with your phone number on it. Literally, get out maybe a billboard or two in the area. Another is to get lists and then go through them and look on the various available resources that are available to real estate agents and some to the public, and look for those distressed homes. And then you start calling people endlessly, and with the hopes that you will hit a targeted lead. That's where I'm going with this. Someone who is very motivated to sell. How do you find that person? Well, that's how they say to do it, the mainstream. Well, I came across a particular wholesaler who also does flipping and other things in real estate. And this isn't just about real estate. I want to be clear. This is about how do you more intelligently with less effort get targeted leads, targeted marketing. I can't think of the word. Not enough coffee yet. Targeted effort. Folks that are ready to, in this case, that are very motivated to sell. And so I found, so I watched a series of YouTube videos, incredibly well done. They were free. This guy is a genius. He spends a ton of time providing a ton of value for nothing. And that is a strategy for success these days. So I was really leaning in and listening. And I took about 25 pages of notes over these 6 very long videos that were captivating. They were fantastic. Well, after viewing those, Facebook knew that I did this. And when I went back to Facebook, I got targeted with an ad by another gentleman who had a different approach. And his approach was all about search engine optimization. What he had done and what he and his team had done is they had figured out what keywords and all the other stuff that goes with SEO. I am not an SEO expert. I'm a I'm a newbie, if even that, when it comes to that. But they had figured it out. It takes time to figure this out, to refine it, to dial it in. And because this type of market, what they do is so repeatable, all they have to do is figure it out once, and then they create a template, and then they offer that to other clients. Like I would be a client, and they offer it at a price. They give you the template, and then they also walk you through the various steps to make it unique to you, to make it also to make it very SEO powerful. The thing is, and I actually literally got on a strategy session call with them. I was very excited, still am to this day, about the whole concept. And they were very open and honest about everything. On average, I asked them, so okay, let's say I get this, I get the website, I fill it out, the template, I supply all the personal information, the stuff that's unique to me and my business and all that I see on the other websites. And then it takes some time. He was very upfront about that. You got to put in some time and effort, take some pictures of yourself and your wife and other things that go along with it. And I said, okay, so how long does it take once all that's put together? How long does it take before you start seeing results? How long does it take on average before you start seeing people who are searching for? These are people that are motivated to sell, and they are searching for someone to buy their home. And this company had figured out what the magical combinations of keywords were to consistently and constantly rank their clients' individual websites number 1 on Google. First page, first entry, right below the sponsored ads. Today, the last time I looked there are like 2 or 3 sponsored ads at the top, and then the organic ones. And they were constantly near the top. I said, so how long does that take? Because with their service, you're paying thousands of dollars to get started, another investment, just like Facebook ads. And he said, well, in all honesty, on average, 4 to 6 months. Like, whoo. So Facebook ads is 30 days before you start seeing anything. And then when you start seeing stuff, it usually has to go under revision by the ad agency that knows what they're doing. It takes time, but not 6 months. Even then, 6 months, if you know that it's going to be 6 months before you're going to be getting this inbound traffic who are literally coming to your website, opting in, saying, please buy my home, it's still a no-brainer to go down that path and get it started, in my opinion. It's just that it's going to take 6 months. What if you are in the need of getting some income rolling sooner? Well, that's not a good strategy then. And so that's when I don't even remember how it came across. I think it was an email and I'll go back to the beginning, where an SEO expert of experts that I personally know, who was still in the game of doing SEO for clients, announced he had left SEO and said, basically, does that mean SEO doesn't work? He said, no. He's literally giving us this back and forth. I'm sorry if you've already heard this, but I'm repeating for those that just came on. And he basically said, no, SEO still works fantastically well. It's just a pain in the rear. It's a lot of work because of everything I told in the story. You're constantly revising. Algorithms are constantly changing. And you're doing things specific to each individual client's needs. And every business, not every business, but most businesses have slight differences to them that make them unique and make SEO have to be customized. And so all this to say that this gentleman said he's leaving SEO because he found something better. Now picture this. If you had a tool, so think about SEO. Let's go back to SEO. You need a website for SEO. You absolutely have to have one. What if conceptually you didn't even need a website? What if, let's say you're reselling someone else's goods. Let's say you're an affiliate. as a worst case scenario. Let's just do it that way. Again, this is off the cuff, as you tell by the title. Let's say that's the case, and you want to drive traffic to your affiliate encoded webpage to make sales. What if you could just do some keyword research, which is trainings offered on how to do that, and throw in a bunch of keywords into this tool. And I'm going to be very simplistic with this. There's more steps involved, but hit go and sit back, and in a day or two, you start getting leads, and they start coming in, and the leads they have every bit of information you need to then reach out to them. It has first name, last name, email address, some of them phone numbers and mailing addresses. Think of that, mailing addresses, all you real estate peeps. Yes. And zip codes down to the zip code level. You can have it filtered that way. These leads come in literally while you're sleeping sometimes. What if when these leads came in, you had a system behind that? As soon as it came in, it automatically dropped them into, say, your CRM, and your CRM starts spitting out emails. So here, picture this. You're here typing, hey, I'm looking to sell my home. I really need to get out quick. And doing all these searches related to that. Who will buy my home for cash? Whatever the search terms are. You hit enter, and within minutes, you get an email that says, hey, I realize that our data shows that you've been looking for someone to buy your home. Like, what? So you're catching them right at their emotional high in that moment. And that is just so powerful when it comes to marketing. You always want to strike while the emotion is high. That's why they do it at seminars. That's why they sell at the back of the room. They get you all pumped up at the seminars. Those that are really good, they get you excited. They express all the pain that you're going through, and then they have the solution. And if you want the solution, boy, it's going to solve a big pain. So I'm going to charge you a lot of money. Head to the back of the room and buy. Well, this isn't that exact scenario, but it's about the emotion. And so they're there, they are looking, they are searching. There is no hotter lead on the planet than someone who is looking for what you have to offer. And it's going to be what you have to offer because you had pre-assembled the keywords that make that happen. You'll know they're searching for what you have to offer. They land in your CRM. You email them, and you have a series of emails pre-written, 10, 14 emails, each with a call to action that take them to that affiliate link. Or if you have your own product or service or website, you already have it built, it takes them there, and you have a compelling marketing message there. But look at that. So you get the leads. That's problem solver number one, and it's a big one. The next step is now, how do you follow up with them? Because this system will give you the leads, but it does not do the rest of it, the follow-up and all that. Well, I have a system that will integrate both the lead gen of the leads coming in. They come in by way of a Google Sheet that you will own, Google Sheet online, and we can set this up to be fully automated. The second it lands on the sheet, bang, the system wakes up, and that information is pumped into the CRM with a landing page, website, how you doing, Dennis Nurmela, and everything ready to go. And you could be sleeping, and you could be making sales while you sleep. And it actually has happened to some people already. This is brand new. This is early adopter time. So for those of you that are out there, again, I am testing this. Don't know if it's going to work 100% the way I hope it does, but I have never been more excited about anything in my entrepreneurial life than this. That's Dennis Nurmela from China. He wasn't born and raised in China. I met him here in the States. Gosh, that's been some time ago, man. 12, 14, back around that time that I was talking about in the beginning of the opening of this live, which you probably didn't see. And Dennis is phenomenal entrepreneur in his own right. And he took a timeout and I call it a timeout, from the business side of things, and went to China and became a teacher. I think it's at a college, correct me if I'm wrong, Dennis, of college age students, to teach them English. And he's been loving his journey and reporting on his personal experiences while living there in China. So it's quite eye-opening because what we see and hear on the main media channels, really all of them, whether it's left leaning or right leaning or down the center, none of them paint a very pretty picture of what's going on in China. Dennis's personal experience is a little different from my lens, and it's interesting. And I appreciate Dennis sharing his experience. So thanks for coming on, my man. Um, yeah, so this is just off the cuff. I started this about, I don't even know when I started. I don't have a countdown timer tell me, but it's been, it hasn't been an hour yet, but it's been long enough. If you want to learn more about this, and I'm not going to try to sell you anything, I'm going to tell you where I am in my testing. If you want to follow this, just DM me. Just say, hey, man, I'm interested. When it comes, when I get to that point, I actually reached out to a CEO of a VA, virtual assistant agency, that I am a client of, and I've gotten close enough with the CEO where I felt I could reach out and tell him about it. Just typed it and let him know in layman's terms what it did. And I said, hey, I'm not selling anything. I'm still testing it and forming it. But once I have it all put together, and should it become successful, which I have every confidence it will, would you be open to my sharing more about it with you? Because it could literally just blow up their agency in a great way. They could bring in so many more clients that would want their VA services. I mean, think about that. If you're a VA agency, the searches that people like me go in and say looking for a VA that is, that has specific skill sets, or a VA that doesn't cost an arm and a leg, or, and so you could type in all these search results, and they would, their stuff would start being sent to your inbox immediately. And you're like, how did that happen? So it's an AI generated, or it's AI under the hood. Everything's AI these days. They even train you, or I will even train you once I've got it under my belt. I've done some already, how to use AI to come up with the keywords that are going to generate the greatest results for you. And it's really awesome. So yeah, the leads, to be clear, in this system, the leads do cost money, each one. I just had a window pop up and go down. That was kind of weird, all by itself. It's too early. My computer's complaining. Yes, the leads, they will cost. So on costs, and again, I am no expert, but I did do some questioning. There are keywords, there are tools out there that will give you analysis of keywords and what their average cost per click would be out on the market. And so one quick run was $8 per click. So what does that mean? You send out an ad, you have an ad set up, you pay someone to set it up already. It goes up, say on Google, say it's a Google ad, and someone clicks on that sponsored ad. You've seen those. Just the act of clicking, before they've seen anything except for the link and one paragraph, if that, a couple lines of information, boom, that costs you $8. Can you imagine? Every time. There are keywords that are up to $100 per click. Why is that? Because some have far fewer results. It's, supply and demand, and they're harder to. It takes more effort to get the result to you as the client who's paying for this. And so think of anywhere from $8 to $100 per click, not opt-in, per click. The next step would be to opt in, and you'll see percentage wise that very few, depending on your offer and your compelling message, but not 100%, definitely not 100%, will opt in. So you're paying $8 to $100 per click. With this system, I'm going to offer an introductory cost of, what did I say it was? It's going to be $2.49 per not click. These are considered opt-ins because they have already opted into something. That's how the information is being lifted using this AI under the hood engine and put into your system. So they didn't opt into your offer yet, but they are searching for what you offer them. So that the strategy is to take that lead as they come in and they're doing the search. The system will pull it in for you. Then you have it dropped into our automated system that'll work for you, and it will send a messaging that are very specific toward your offer. And if they're interested, they will opt in there. You give them an opt-in form on your web page. So your email will have details enough to spark their interest, to click the link. They'll open the link, they'll see a landing page with your opt-in. Now they're truly interested in what you have to offer. And you've just bypassed so many steps in the process. You did not have to do SEO. You did not have to do paid Facebook ads or Google ads or YouTube ads. None of that. You oftentimes don't even need your own website if you have, if you're an affiliate of something else. It's just unbelievably amazing what the future holds for this. And I will be turning this machine on as early as maybe today. I'm working with another gentleman. We're working together. We're friends, and we're both working on this together and doing a lot of masterminding together. This just came out this past weekend, 1 weekend ago, and this information and news. Changsha University, I don't know if I'm saying that right. This is Dennis Nurmela, wrote a book and have a new business starting soon, training public speakers. Oh, awesome, Dennis. That is awesome. He's getting back into the game. Maybe you never left it. Are you going to stay in China during this? Are you doing the training for the folks in China, or will you be, I see it's online, soon training public speakers online. So who's your target market? I'm curious where you're going with this, Dennis, because Dennis is a very polished and astute and talented speaker. He's also a great guy, high integrity, very intelligent, very heart-centered. My gosh, Dennis, I remember when it might have been the first time I had met you, and we just started talking in the hallway, and I don't even remember the what we talked about specifically, but you offered to take me into another room that was vacant in that hotel room, a conference room, and film me, and you coached me on what to say and how to say it. And I was like, who's this guy? He did this out of the goodness of his heart. I barely know him, and here he is helping me. That went a long way with me, brother. Strong in China till age 200. I love it. I love it. All right. Well, if you ever do come back and visit, and you're in the Florida area, brother, you got a place to stay, huh? I'm not kidding. All right. One of my students is competing next week in the national. Wow. No surprise there. And I'll bet that student, with your tutelage, will rank very high, if not win the whole thing. National public speaking contest. My gosh. Wow. It's a huge population. That'd be something else. Keep us informed, please, please, please. Oh, there it is. I've been on for 42 minutes. I knew there was a countdown timer somewhere. So like this said, it was off the cuff. Got a phenomenal new system. I am in the throes of testing. And if you'd like to follow along the journey, just let me know, DM me. Maybe I'll put together a quick email list just to be able to give updates via the email list is what I mean by that. And so just build a quick opt-in form for anyone interested to follow this journey, just in case you miss if I do another live and say, here's the update. That way you won't miss it. And I'm all over the place. So if you're on YouTube, go ahead, subscribe. Okay, Dennis. Got to do a stand-up comedy act now at a friend's pub. Ooh, have fun. Hey, record that. Record it. Have somebody record it. Have fun. And I'm sure everybody else will have fun. He's a very funny guy too. He's a very cool guy. Thanks, Dennis, for coming on. So yeah, if definitely stick with me. You can tell I didn't prepare for this. I just got up early. For those of you just getting on, I got up at 4:30 2 hours ago. It's 6:23 here in Newport Richey, Florida right now. And I couldn't sleep because of this. It's just been consuming my thoughts every day. It's still dark outside. I just looked out. I can see I have a beautiful view here. We just moved here in September. It's a dream home. It's a paradise where we are. Moved from California to Florida in July. We came here, and then the September we moved into this home. So we were on an Airbnb for a while. So quite the experience, let me tell you. But now we have landed. We have landed in our dream home, in our dream location. I mean, it couldn't have gotten any better. But I digress because I still have not finished my first cup of coffee, and this is very personal. I just felt like, you know what, I'm up. The rest of the family, our son's visiting, and they're still all asleep. Still now 6:30. We normally don't get up that early as a family. And I thought, you know what? No one can hear me. I'm downstairs in the office. It's pretty soundproof. This house is amazing. Let's just fire off some thoughts. So if you didn't see the whole thing, go back and play it from the beginning. Told a couple stories in there. Again, it's all about marketing and lead generation and that the age old problem. Hey, if you can't get people to see your website, if you can't get people to walk in your brick and mortar, then what's the purpose? There's no use having. You could have the greatest storefront. I mean, oh my God, you could have all these neon lights. You could have animatronic robots doing cool things out front. But if not a single car were to venture down the road to where they could actually see it, well, what good is it? You just spent all that money, all that time, all those resources in putting that up, and you hear crickets because no one's coming in. They can't even see it. How do you get people to see it? Same thing with websites. A lot of people think I'm going to build it and they will come, the old adage. And nothing could be farther from the truth. There are all these different ways to get eyeballs. And I covered that just a little while ago. A couple of major ones, which are paid ads like Facebook ads and also search engine optimization and the pitfalls of both and the solution. And if you're curious about the solution, this is brand new. It's never surfaced before in history. It's phenomenal. Wow, that was kind of a dramatic statement in history, but it's true. Again, I'm testing it. I'm full disclosure, full transparency. I want to test it, make sure it works for my purposes. I have several projects lined up in my head. I'm going to start with one that is the lowest hanging fruit, if you will, has the lowest buy-in costs that I'm going to use as the where I will be sending the traffic, having the traffic be sent, I should say. It's a pull. I just put in keywords and this system goes out sniffing. And so the person's searching for the keywords. And once it finds a match and that person hits enter and the system then finds a match instantly, all their information, I get it in my own Google Sheet instantly and automatically. First name, last name, email address, phone number, mailing address. In some cases, you get to choose what you want. And then you drop that into your automated CRM, which I have and I can offer to you. So it's a one-stop shop and you can have everything but the actual closing of the deal done. Even scheduling appointments can be built in automatically. So if you want to talk to people, if you need to talk to people to get the sale done. So literally covers almost, I can't imagine an industry this does not cover. I mean, if you're into plumbing, solar, HVAC, those are all like brick and mortar traditional, but even online services, SEO, if you want to actually lift up your SEO, think about that. If you have an SEO agency, this is a game changer because you won't need to spend countless hours of updating all the, and refining the websites of your clients because Google decided to change an algorithm. This thing will work regardless of that, as I understand it. Again, this all came from a friend of mine, SEO expert, decades of experience, decades of successful experience, and he's leaving SEO. He's no longer going to provide that service for his clients because he said, this is better. What is this? DM me and I'll give you, we can do one-on-ones. I'm not selling anything because I don't have anything to sell yet. I'm testing. I can just give you information so you can then be informed and empowered. And then when I do release this puppy, you could know all the details about it, the cost and all that stuff. And if it's something that works for you, then we can have that talk later. That's it. All right. This has been Off the Cuff. It is almost 6:30. I'm going to finish my coffee. Maybe watch the sunrise because it's still dark. And I appreciate y'all for coming on. Cool. Dennis says videographer will film. That's right. You know what? Before I call it, very important. If you do anything like, so this, going back to this, Dennis is going to do a stand-up comedy act now at a friend's pub. Anytime you're doing something like that, or you're speaking from stage or anything of significance, always, always, always get it filmed, get it recorded on video, because then you can later use all of these pieces of video as, say, a speaker reel, or even just a reel that goes up on your website to show that you're out and about, that you are engaging. I mean, there's nothing uh, more powerful, in my opinion, than going to a website and seeing even pictures, static pictures of the individual who runs the company standing on stage speaking in front of a crowd with the microphone and all that. That tells me they're in it. They're not just a hobbyist, that they're a true business person. And so every one of those things helps. Anyway, that's an additional aside there. All right, this has been Off the Cuff. As you can see, I'm Brian Kelly. It's like right there, founder of Reach Your Peak LLC, and look forward to talking to anybody who actually came across this, who watched it, and just shoot me a DM if you're on Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm not sure. I guess you just comment there. You can get me at Brian Carl Kelly is my full profile name on Facebook if you want to do it that way. And it's Brian at reachyourpeakllc.com if you want to just email me directly and say, hey, I saw you on Facebook. I want to learn more. All right, that's it. I didn't plan this. I didn't prepare for it. I just thought I'm up early and I love what I get to do. And I'm excited about this. So I just thought I'm just going to fire up the camera and share it. No makeup, no hair, hardly any clothes. Oh my gosh. All right. That's it for me. Thanks so much for coming on so early in the morning. And for those of you that are watching the recording, appreciate you for staying on for 51 minutes. All right. That's it. I'm signing off. Take care, all. Oops. Got to end the stream. That'll work. All right. Take care.